Hello to all the participants and a warm welcome back to all of you. So in this journey of the DevOps pipeline, we have seen how to go ahead and build the CI/CD pipelines and how to do a deployment into AWS cloud. So in the previous session, you have seen how we will go ahead and involve the infrastructure that you would like to go ahead and provision using CloudFormation. So the idea is, what are the various stages of the pipeline that you have to encounter and that you will have to go ahead and handle involving version control, build, provisioning, monitor, provisioning, uh, you know, image building, artifact management, storage, continuous integration. And one aspect that we have to also consider is that participants is monitoring. So what is that I'm going to go ahead and today, participants, is that I'm going to spend some time with you in handling the monitoring and the logging aspects. So participants, if you go ahead and hit AWS Cloud, and if you start looking at their monitoring services, you can go ahead and look, like if you go ahead and hit EC2 instance, and if you want to go ahead and start monitoring that instance, taking that instance as our service at this moment, EC2 instance as a service. So I would like to go ahead and monitor that. If you select your machine and if you navigate the monitoring tab, you'll end up in CloudWatch. So CloudWatch has been essentially a very popular and a very vital tool for all of the services. So CloudWatch is one-stop shop for all your monitoring needs into the AWS cloud. So in this current example, let me go ahead and show you. If I go ahead and pick this machine, it will say the data is not available because the state of this machine is stopped. So I'm going to go ahead and start this machine. It will take a couple of, let's wait for a minute. Now, machine is up and running. And let's focus on the monitoring aspect of this machine. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and start monitoring this machine much more in detail. So what I can do is I can go ahead and start looking at this instance, or I can start taking the metric that you want to go ahead and see. You can enlarge it, open up the CPU utilization. There has been no CPU utilization. You can look at till a week's time, what has been the CPU utilization. See the spikes, the major spikes that you have been able to use. And the average CPU utilization, you can look at, has roughly around 30 plus, an average of, for every 5 minutes, it has taken into consideration. You can go up to granular level of a second. So what I want to do is, instead of looking at this, I want to go ahead and create my own dashboard so that I can go ahead and monitor my resources. So what you can do is you can go ahead and consider this, open up in metrics. So it does take you into CloudWatch metrics and CloudWatch dashboard, it will open up. So here you can go ahead and monitor to your dashboard week's time. In a week's time, how much? It's a line that I want to go ahead and see a bar chart. but I want to see number because it cannot show you the number. The roughly average of CPU utilization is about 2.51. Instead of showing it cannot show you the number at this, but it will take the average of CPU utilization about a week. In the last 3 days, what was the average of CPU utilization? So what I want to do is now I want to create my own dashboard where I can go and monitor all my resources. Like I have created a dashboard. Let me delete the dashboard and show you how simple to create a dashboard of your own. Let me go ahead and hit my dashboard. So I'll create my DB, my dashboard, and create one dashboard. Now in this dashboard, what I want to do is I want to monitor. This is my choice because I want to go ahead and monitor my machine. So I would like to go ahead and add a graph where it should go ahead and give me details about my instances. And as part of the instance, I'm very, very specific about my, uh, say, CPU credits that I've used, and moreover, CPU utilization that I've done. These are my interests that I want to go ahead and monitor about my instance. So CPU utilization credits and the CPU utilization. So let me go ahead and first save this. And I want to watch for about an hour. In the last 1 hour, what has been my CPU utilization? There's nothing, no information about the CPU utilization. So what I want to do now is I would like to go ahead and perform some operations into my instance. So I want to go ahead and monitor it. What is the CPU utilization that I've consumed? So participants, before doing all that stuff, because the other stuff is involved with the integration with the other services, what I would like to do is also highlight about the logs, where you can find the logs. You can find the logs here on the other side by hitting the log groups, where it will go ahead and maintain the logging information about the resources that you have done. For example, if you have been involved in using cloud services, so you can go ahead and see, for example, if you have been using instance, so you'll watch the instance. Just an example I'll show. So there has been a cloud build service that I've been using. So I am enabled to go ahead and see the cloud build services log events here. What are all the log events? They have been previously used, not as it's not that I've used now. It's a previous service. So the point I want to bring is there are two things that you have to understand. What is metric? Metric is about a service that depicts information about that service in the form of a very simple information, maybe a number, like CPU utilization metrics. It will go ahead and tell you the number. Whereas a logs, you can expect complete information. What has happened at that time, what happened, what was the event that has taken place, complete detailed information about the action. So participants, you can find actions about your instance under the CloudWatch. If you have been very specific, even you can go ahead and watch under your instance. Even under instance, it is available. If you connect to your instance and on top right hand side, if you click this instance and on the right side, if you go ahead and see monitor and troubleshoot, is that CloudWatch? It is system log. Yeah, this is about the system log. System. That means your machine. What is happening on the machine? You can get information about your machine. This is start of the instance. instance log. This is a screenshot of. So now participants, I want to go ahead and not get the log of my instance. I want to go and get the log of my entire account. I want to get the information regarding what is happening inside my account, logging information about my account. Because organizations also have this process where they want to go ahead and analyze the logging information of your entire account. And as part of the processes, they need the logging information to be handled. So if you go ahead and hover your mouse and type in logging, basically the service name is CloudTrail participants, where we'll go ahead and gather all the information about the events that is happening in the form of CloudWatch log. So welcome to AWS CloudTrail. So CloudTrail is another service from AWS parallel to what you get to see in CloudWatch. So CloudWatch and CloudTrail go handy. CloudWatch is purely about monitoring, about service monitoring, logging information about a particular service that you provision. Whereas CloudTrail is about logging of your AWS account at the account level. And from the account level, we can go up to a very specific event. Like I want to go ahead and track what is happening inside my account. I want to go ahead and track all that information. Let me show you an example that you can easily relate with. If you hold your mouse and see the three buttons, you get to see a dashboard, event history, insights, lakes, and trails. So let me just go to the dashboard. Right now, a dashboard is visible for me where it just has picked up some kind of event history with no trailing information. There's an event history for. Now, participants, have you remember that what I have done? Do you remember, participants, in the last 5 minutes, what I have done? In the last few minutes, I have been starting up an instance. I've been deleting a dashboard. I've been putting up a dashboard. You can see 640, 643, 643, 644. In the last 1 hour, what are the actions? In the last 30 minutes, these are the actions that I've been performing. So I want to go to that level, that what I have done, from which IP address I've done, what is, what are the actions that I've done. So I can click on start instances. The moment I go ahead and click on start instances, it is an event information that has been captured. It has taken place at 640 from this access key, region, information, source, AWS internal action. It's not an external action. It does give you an information about the resources that are part of it, AWS EC2 instance, and what is the service that is associated with that instance, the uh, the event associated with that instance. You get to see the event information, type of information associated with it, the user who has done this action. It's me, Kumar-admin, my account ID, to which account ID I've done it. What I've done, I have picked up my instance. I have started that instance, event name. What is that instance? Details are mentioned here. So entire information has been captured. All the possible details of that instance has been captured here. Let's go ahead and check other instance inside the event history. What has happened? I've deleted a dashboard. 643 I've deleted. Location, right? It is me, Kumar-admin, monitoring dashboard, deleted the dashboard, and the request which I have deleted is delete dashboard. So now it's great to have this information captured. I can go ahead and capture all of the information at a place. I can go ahead and capture that information and start using that information. I can considering, like you can go ahead and consider this idea into a S3 bucket. So what I want to do is, instead of just visiting this event history page and doing this, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and log all this information into an S3 bucket. That's where trails. I want to go ahead and create a trail where I want to allow all the data to be placed at a location. That's where CloudTrail will happen. So we can go ahead and create a trail for my cloud-trail. I want to create a trail where I want to go ahead and capture all the information that is happening inside my account on an hourly basis. For every 1 hour or all the events that are happening, I will go ahead and do a capturing of that event. What I'll do, I let this bucket to be created. This bucket will be created because I want a new bucket for this trailing action. I just want to go ahead and store the data. CloudWatch logs. At this moment not required. So let me go ahead and put this. And yes, what type of events that you want to track? I want to go ahead and track majorly the events that are part of management and data events. And then let me go ahead and write it into. If it is a data event, what kind of data events? Data events that are very, very specific on for S3 at this moment. All the log events. Yes. And then I'll go ahead and create a trail. So what happens now because of this trail, because of this origin bucket or this bucket, whatever the data that gets generated out of this trailing event will be written into this S3 bucket. So this is another S3 bucket that would be created in your account where you can go ahead and view what is happening inside this account or the events. So what is the benefit? You might ask me, Kumar, what is the benefit of getting this data into getting the CloudTrail data into S3 bucket? So what I can do is taking this data from the S3 bucket, I can go ahead and perform moving out of this S3 bucket into the ETL service, from where I can go ahead and run queries, go ahead and identify any pattern change. That means any kind of action which is not in line. I can go ahead and identify that. So what I meant is, I will start storing the data into S3 bucket. I can go ahead and use some kind of a ETL service, maybe Informatica, maybe BI, something where I will load this data into that tool, and that tool should go ahead and give me a dashboard where I can go ahead and see any change, any unidentified IP address is making a login to my account, or any kind of action that is happening. So participants, even this allowance is available in AWS cloud by using a service called Athena. Athena is capable of pulling the data from S3 bucket and giving you the results out of it. You don't need to know about this action. It's not required, but just for your information, if you visit analytics and if you visit Athena, you can clearly see a word mentioned, query data in S3 using SQL. So what I can do now, I can go ahead, pull my data from the S3 bucket. So whatever the S3 bucket that I have, From that data, I can pull into Athena from this S3 bucket, whatever the data that is getting logged into S3 bucket, I can pull it into Athena and run a query. So this query will go ahead and give me what is happening inside my account. This part, you don't need to know about it. This is just only for your information. So participants, are we able to relate now how monitoring is done, how logging is done? So companies have their processes. The processes mainly involve taking the data from the account in the form of trailing events and store those events into S3 buckets. From there, it's purely like, database engineers, data engineers, they will do that. Why I'm not trying to go into this situation is, it is something that it's not part of your responsibility. You're not responsible for doing the other actions. It's a database developer or it's a database administrators will pull that data. They run the queries. They will do monitoring. Segmentation is taken care. So let's not focus on that aspect. Let's focus that how to go ahead and see as part of your events. Let's say I want to be very specific on S3 events, very specific on EC2, how my application is running. So all these events can be captured into this event, into this S3 bucket. It looks like as of now, no data has been coming up. We do a page refresh one more time. Yeah, CloudTrail event. No data has been coming up. So participants will do one thing. We'll come back once again into this trailing event to see what kind of data has it returned into this CloudTrail bucket. Now let's go back into CloudWatch. So where did we start? We did start by considering the monitoring and the logging aspects of our pipeline, DevOps pipeline. So we did start by connecting to our AWS CloudWatch, which is a proprietary product of AWS Cloud. So in this, you can go ahead and monitor your resources by creating your own dashboards. You can see how the CPU utilization has gone up, how the metrics have gone up. You can go ahead and monitor all your instances metrics, resource metrics. Even you can create for your database. Now, what I want to do is now I want to go ahead and take into consideration that how my dashboard will track if there is a heavy utilization happening on my instance. My instance is going to be running now with a heavy traffic. Let's assume that there is a heavy piece of traffic that is coming to my instance. How is that your instance will go ahead and handle the traffic? So if it is going to handle, how does it go ahead and handle and how does it go ahead and notify your admin team? Let's say you are the DevOps engineer. You're working on the project and your application started to receive a huge amount of traffic. So in that scenario, how you will get to notify that there is some kind of, what you call it as a trigger you want to have where you should get notified that your application has received a huge amount of data. So let me demonstrate to you people that how we will go ahead and get this achievement done. So for this participants, I have to use service called SNS, which is a notification service, simple notification service. So simple notification service is a very powerful service offering from AWS Cloud, where it does provide notifications in the form of SNS. If that applies in the form of a message, SMS, apologize, SMS, like a message that you can send to your mobile numbers, or you can send alerts in the form of emails. Let me show you. Let me just show you as part of the demonstration. So participants, what I'm going to go ahead now and create is I'm going to go ahead and first create a topic. So what is this topic is, I want to go ahead and first delete some topics. And what I want to do is I want to create a topic The topic is I would like to alert my team regarding the heavy utilization. So I would like to go ahead and say alert -SNS. So it is asking me before I go ahead and create the topic. Topic is nothing but you can treat it as an endpoint where your services will go ahead and write your information. So for a very, very simple example, I want my machine to be running and suddenly there's a huge traffic that is coming up to my machine and my machine should go ahead and trigger a notification service. So it has to hit your SNS service, and in the SNS service, to whom it should go ahead and talk to. There should be a very specific topic that it should talk to. So that is what is the definition of topic. So topic is considered as an endpoint where your service should know to talk to this endpoint. So this endpoint will take a decision, that topic will take a decision, okay, I have received a request from the service. So based upon this service, let me go ahead and do the next action plan. So at this moment, I'm first creating the topic, and at the time of the topic creation, it is asking me two basic questions. Hey, is it your first in, first out? Or do you want to use a standard method? So participants, I hope you're all aware of the keyword called FIFO. FIFO means first in and first out. It's a queue. Like you go to buy a movie ticket. Let's say there are 10 people in the queue. Person who is at the first will receive his movie ticket because he is the one who is standing first in the queue. He will receive his ticket after the payment is done. Next, the number 2 person in the queue will receive his. So let's assume that out of the box, this is a queue, imaginary queue, where your messages are available, like M1 message, M2 message, M3. The messages are available to be processed in this direction. Now, the FIFO standard says, whichever the order that the message has been received, it is the order that we will go ahead and preserve and we will process it. That means if there is an order that is received, we will maintain that order. Now, what will happen if I apply the FIFO logic here? If I apply the FIFO logic here, the same logic if I apply for the queue in the movie ticket, let's say there are 10 participants, 10 people standing in the queue. Suddenly, out of that, the third person payment gets stuck. Maybe he was making the payment via a card or a GPay. Once he was making the payment via the GPay, his payment got stuck or his payment is not able to get. So participants, do you think he should go ahead and await the other 7 more people standing in the queue? That means we should go ahead and tell, hey people, the number 3 person payment did not go through. You guys wait there. Participants, is it a good practice? Definitely the answer is no. So what we have to do, we have to take this guy out of the queue, tell him, hey, let's wait for this payment. In the meanwhile, I'll process the remaining people transactions. So the next person, 4, 5, 6, 7, the process will continue. Assuming that if it is done, we will come back later and say, hey, all the 10 people in the queue is being done. So you are the person whose payment is struck. Let's go ahead and wait. Maybe after 10 minutes of the time, the payment failed and he will make one more time the payment and his process is done. So in this way, we are just standardizing the best possible efforts to query and process your message. But if you follow the standard, like I don't want to go ahead and I want to keep the order, then better to go ahead and use FIFO. Otherwise, standard would be sufficient. A standard queue is sufficient. In this scenario, I'm going to go ahead and create a standard queue, and I want to go ahead and create an SNS topic. Alert SNS DevOps theme. This is my topic. Display name, all these details are not required because they are optional, and create a topic. Now the topic has been created. So what I want to do now is, since the topic is created, now I would like to go ahead and broadcast any kind of information via this topic to my subscribers. Subscriber means people who are part of the topic. Now, participants, in this scenario, I might need to consider anyone sharing his email ID for the purpose of demonstration. Can I just borrow anyone email ID just to demonstrate? Anyone, can you share your email ID? I would like to show you a demonstration. Anyone interested to share his email ID just for the purpose of demonstration? After that, I'll
Yes, I will give my ID.
Okay, please. Okay, so guys, I have received multiple email IDs. So just take one. I received Pranav's email ID. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start sending a subscription. The team involving what? Purely an email I want to send. Who is the endpoint? Or what is the endpoint? Endpoint is Pranav. Pranav is going to get an email about the update. So let me just go ahead and now create a subscription for this. So participants, what I have done, I hope by now you might have noticed, I have done a very simple topic saying that as soon as a service hits a topic called alert DevOps team about this, the subscriber, who is the subscriber in this scenario? The subscriber is Pranav. Pranav is a subscriber. He will start receiving updates. But till now, he did not subscribe to this topic. Pranav, I can see you haven't subscribed to the topic. Have you received an email from AWS SNS team saying no reply at the rate SNS-Amazon AWS.com asking you to subscribe? Did you subscribe? If you subscribe it, I'll get a confirmation that you have been subscribed. Confirm. Pranav, are you there? Pranav, we can't hear you. Pranav, we can't hear you. Okay, you will type. So please subscribe to that email. Or if it is not possible for you, I'll have to go ahead and you can't delete it. You have to confirm your subscription. Done. Okay. If you have subscribed it, I'll get a notification. I'll get an information about your subscription that you have been subscribed. So participants, what? Yeah, now you can see. So participants, how to visualize this now is there is a person part of the DevOps team engineering, maybe you or multiple teams, like Pranav is part of a group. Visualize Pranav is a DevOps lead. He's working with the entire team. He should get notifications from the topic. This is a topic, he will get notifications because he subscribed himself to this topic. That means if topic receives updates in the form of alerts, so Pranav is the first one to receive this information in the form of an email. And let me demonstrate to you participants. So what I wanted to show you participants now is this, that how will I go ahead and make this topic to receive updates. That means how this will get an update. So for this, let me go back to CloudWatch and say, hey, CloudWatch, listen, I have a deal for you. The deal is, if by any chance my machine gets heavily impounded with a huge amount of traffic, which is beyond a particular limit, like maybe 50% and above. 50%, I don't want to do anything, or 60% I'll consider. 60% is okay for me. But if it go beyond 60% and above, it's a very risky call for me. So what I want to do is now I want to go ahead and alert my team about the CPU utilization going beyond a threshold value of 60%. So for this now, I have to go ahead and focus on alerts or alarms. At this moment, I don't have any alarm. So let me go ahead and process an alarm. Create an alarm and select a matrix. The matrix is going to be simply an EC2 instance. And inside that EC2 instances, specifically about my instance and the CPU utilization of that instance. So this is my CPU utilization that I'm trying to consider. So specify metrics and condition. So I've picked up a graph. This alarm will trigger when the blue line goes above the red line for one data point within 5 minutes. That means it will monitor for the next 5 minutes. And taking the consideration of CPU utilization as the data point, it will go ahead and hit your alarm. So the namespace is under AWS Cloud EC2 instance. CPU utilization is a metric. This is the instance ID, the name, the average of CPU utilization, and it is asking me, hey, what is your threshold value that you want to consider? I want to go ahead and consider the threshold value is something like greater than or equal to something like 60%. Threshold value 60%. That means right now it is 1.54, very, very nominal. It's not even 5%, it's 1.54. So 60% achieving is way more. So let's see how this machine will respond. So after this, I have selected the notification. How do you want this notification to be triggered? I want a notification to be triggered because I've already created a notification. So let me go ahead and send a notification to my team. Participant, did you notice that? My team will get a notification via this alert, and SSI now will be the first person to get notified in the form of an email. Now, what actions you want, I leave it up to you. If you want to go ahead and stop that instance, you can go ahead and stop that instance. I want to go ahead and stop that instance. So if you are not sure about it, it's okay. Let's do one thing. Let's keep this alarm action here and do proceed. So this is my what do you call it as CPU utilization underscore greater than 60. Hit the review and create an alarm. So tell me, participants, with your average guess now, what should be the average utilization of this machine now? It's not even closer to 5, less than 5. So Pranav, get ready. I'm taking the charge of this instance now, my DevOps instance, and using this DevOps instance, I'm gonna increase the CPU utilization from current, whatever the current CPU utilization we have, from 1.54, I'll make it closely to 100. And you tell me, have you received a notification in the form of an SNS? So Pranav, get started. I'm going to go ahead and make my machine to increase its CPU utilization. So participants, let me go back to my EC2 instance and confirm that machine is running. Yes, the machine is running. The machine is running. And I can see the average CPU utilization is almost about 1.57, something less than 2. Now let me go ahead and simulate the real life situation of heavy load on this machine. I would like to go ahead and load this machine. So connect this machine and I will stress this machine with such an amount of traffic where the CPU utilization is expected to go beyond 100%. 100% for sure. There is no beyond 100%. 100%. 100% of the utilization is done. So you can see the memory usage, most 2%. So step 1, take the admin privilege, hit the machine CD, and there's a command on the Linux called stress. Clearly, the stress command is not installed. Very simple command to install, apt install stress, and hit enter. You don't have space left in the archives. So is there anything that I can go ahead and remove the space? Now, let me run this package one more time. Cool. It has agreed to download the stress. Now it's done. So stress command is installed on this machine, participants. So now what I would like to do is I would like to go ahead and check whether stress is working. Cool, it's working. So what I want to do now, participants, is that I would like to go ahead and rerun this example command. Now, instead of just 10 seconds, I will run it for the next 5 minutes. That is 300 seconds. 60 multiplied by 5 minutes, 300 seconds. So participants, for those people who are not able to relate with this stress is a very useful command that heavily stresses your machine with such an amount of traffic where you can expect an enormous change from the current value of 1.52 now to more than 100%. So it's kind of a tool that is available to increase the CPU utilization of this machine. So participants, it will take some time, maybe another 2 to 3 minutes to see the change. So as a monitoring aspect, we can go ahead and monitor what is happening on this machine now and then on this CPU utilization of this machine. So at this moment, instead of awaiting for that time, what is the current CPU utilization, we'll come back another 2 minutes to this page. So participant, let me go ahead and connect the points one more time. So what I have done, I have taken my DevOps master machine and I wanted to go ahead and keep in mind that I don't want to go ahead and heavily load my machine or an application. If I want, there should be a kind of an alerting system that should go ahead and alert me saying that the CPU utilization has gone beyond a particular value, 60% and above. For that, what I have done, I have hit my CloudWatch and put up an alarm and said, alarm, make sure if there is a CPU utilization happening beyond 60% and above, trigger yourself. So it will trigger. But what is that it will do after triggering? It should go ahead and alert me. Because I cannot go ahead and watch every time inside the console, every machine. So I want an alert to be sent to my email ID. So for that reason, I have taken the SNS in the form of simple notification service, where I've requested one of the participants, Sai Pranav, to go ahead and play the role of a DevOps engineer, where he'll get a message in the form of an email saying that the average CPU utilization has gone beyond. How did we made it happen? We use SNS, simple notification service. So we have used a simple notification service here, where this notification service is expected to go ahead and send alerts in the form of emails to its subscribers. So what are the subscribers here? Sai Pranav is a subscriber. So Sai Pranav, by any chance, did you receive an email by now? By any chance? I think you will not be receiving, but just expecting. Did you receive by any chance? So you haven't received it. Okay, cool. Let's wait for another minute or two. And at the same time, I'll also go ahead and watch out on my dashboard. On my dashboard, what is the CP utilization? So no great progress. So participants, now you can see there has been a progress hitting about 63.6%. Pranav, have you received by any chance an email? Okay. Let's also check current scenario more time. $63.6. I'm guessing you should have received an email by now. No, you haven't received an email? No, you haven't received it. Let me double check my script has ran successfully in the last 5 minutes. Let me double check my alarm. Yeah, alarm have triggered. That condition has been met. Utilization, the alarm is in action. Utilization for more than 5 minutes have written. And as part of it, see, 60 is the data point. It has gone beyond that particular data point. And as part of it, actions are in the form of send a message to alarm. I'm sure by now you should have received an email. Can you check your spam by any chance? Or okay, just for the purpose of demo or for purpose of testing, let me just say testing in email. Hello, Pranav. Testing 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and send and publish this message. So you should be at least receiving this email because I've just published another message. Have you received this email? Yeah, you got this. Which email you got? The one which I've sent a test email or the subscription email you received? Testing email you have received. So he's confirming me participants that he has received a testing email. If you want to show your screen, you can also show your screen as if it is possible so that people will go ahead and get a clarity about that email. You like to share your screen and show that email receipt? Okay, you are on phone. Okay, good. Participants will wait for another 5 minutes to see whether that email has been received. Definitely, he should be receiving that email. That's one. So, participants, let's do a quick review. The review was we have created a dashboard where we have gone ahead and seen how we can go ahead and monitor our instances and their respective metrics. And we can go ahead and handle the instances in terms of their uh, like we can go ahead and create alarms and get statuses updates in the form of emails that we send, that is via an SNS script, simple notification services. And also I said the logging of the events. I hope by now the logging of the events should also be happening. CloudTrail events. Yeah. Now you can see people, what is happening inside each of the region is captured. We are currently as Ohio region. So as part of this year, this month, this date, you see, it has been capturing the events, I guess, for every roughly, if you go and look at what is that timeline for every 5 minutes, 70, 705, 7010, 713, 21. So it is able to capture 18. It has to capture 2020. There are two different files, JSON GZ file and JZ file. Now let's pick up a random file and let's download it. You'll not be able to see, but just for the purpose of demonstration, I'll show you. It's a JSON file. Let's open it up and see what events will it go and do it, will it go and capture in any way. Or let's do one thing. Let's pick another file which we can read. V3. Now, by any chance, have you received that file now? That email now? No, Kumar. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll just keep this as, if you are receiving maybe by tomorrow, you can let us know. I'm not able to open this up, participants. Yeah, see, the raw information is now available. The event data is available now. The recording information, the records are getting captured. So participants, I don't want to go beyond this in the sense what you will do with this data. This data is actually pulled into products like Athena or BI tools that they perform the query. That part, I don't want to go and spend time on it because that's not your challenging, or that's not your challenge that you need to address it. Because there are a lot of tools and services that are available that will pull the data from your S3 bucket and do an analysis. That's purely data engineering or some kind of, team who are involved in monitoring an aspect, what do you call it, as monitoring or logging aspect of the team, which they use third-party tools or some kind of tools in AWS, which they go and pull the data. So as part of the project, when you are working along with the team, where you are very specific on monitoring aspect as well as logging aspect. So I wanted to show you how this monitoring and logging aspect, especially the logging aspect from the CloudTrail, is handled. So we brought all of our account information into our CloudTrail event S3 bucket, and from there we can pull the data and load it into. If you want, I'll show you some sample architectures. Uh, you know, CloudTrail logging with BI tools. A lot of architectures that are available that are in line. So what they do, they pull out the data. Yeah, an example. You don't need to go into the details. So what they do, they go ahead and bring the CloudTrail, CloudWatch data into one destination bucket. From there, they go ahead and put the dashboards, SIEM. Now, this part is not under the DevOps engineering, so you don't need to worry about it. The goal is they will view it as a dashboard monitoring and viewing will be done by the monitoring and alerting team. Alerting team will go ahead and analyze the logs. So the idea was how is that you will be how closely are you related with these services? So data is taken from various CloudWatch logs, CloudTrail logs. See here, another example. CloudTrail logs are brought into buckets. From there, they will trigger Lambda functions, which will go ahead and write the data into a dashboard for monitoring and viewing. So this will be very powerful way of handling the logging and monitoring, which will be once again part of the monitoring logging team deliverables. I don't want you to go into this aspect and try to break your or try to understand and think about what is part of this. This is not under your control. Majorly, you will be handling the CI/CD models or the CI/CD pipelines, build, test, release, deploy, and some kind of monitoring if it is required, but not yet. So finally, the good news has come up, participants. The email has been received by Pranav. Email, can you post that email copy here at least? Is there any convenience for you to post that email copy so that I'll copy that and show you that information about that email? Or can you share the screenshot so it will be well justified? If you can share that screenshot at least. So participants, wait for a minute and let's confirm that whether that email has been received. And I want to see you the context of that email, how that email is presenting that information. That's more important for us now. So participants, here is the summary of that email which Pranav has received. He has shared in the chat window. You can see the alarm was okay, or the alarm details it was okay, then it raised. The reason for the state change, threshold has crossed one of its data point, 63.6, and was greater than the equal to the threshold that was given, and that's how the alarm got triggered. Hope this demonstration has given you a clear picture of how threshold alarms are handled. Everyone, are we good at everyone at this moment? Participants, are we good? Okay, fine. Thank you, participants.